views, opinions, and positions expressed on this radio program are those of the speakers, authors, or other contributors. This broadcast is intended for entertainment purposes only.
Consciousness is an amorphous and expanding entity.
Realize that you are in a cultural hypnosis.
We have been systematically put into a state of unconsciousness so that we cannot see.
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like
what we are part of and what we are experiencing, though that is changing.
And now, here is your host, Joe Ayala Ayupanya.
Welcome back to another episode of Quintessential Mark Radio 2.0. I am your host, Ayala Nunez, and today we're going to be talking about something, this subject matter never goes away. Since that very day that I had encountered that 13-foot giant in Walmart, yes, Walmart, back in 2017, specific event, that encounter has never slipped my mind. Every day I think about that episode, every single day since 2017. Right now, it is November 28th, 2022, 5 years later. But now it feels as if I can find some peace. Now, the very first time that I had presented this information to anyone was in the form of an episode of which it was focusing on one particular topic. And that topic, the subject matter, is the AI Antichrist revealed. And that was episode number 23. Episode number 23 was removed by YouTube because of its content matter. Okay. I will provide the link for you at the bottom here of this broadcast. I do recommend that you watch that episode first before anything. And then as to dedicate the subject matter of my encounter, my experience, my testimony of encountering that 13-foot giant, I did another episode number 66. And I would recommend that as a recap, a review after you watch episode number 23. Now, it goes very deep, okay, as far as symbology, as far as the depths of my encounter, what everything means. It is what it is. If you believe me, wonderful. If you don't, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Okay, this is the reason why I provide this information to you, so that you can decide for yourself whether what you are seeing and being presented to is legit. Okay, because you don't know me for anything. Okay, we can only trust in God. But I got to tell you, for the people that I have entrusted this information to see with their own eyes that they do not believe what I say, and that's fine. And these days, in these end of days, how could one believe another? Okay. It is very difficult. If I was presented with this information by a friend, someone I didn't know, let alone even a family member, eyebrows would have to be raised. I would have to do a double take. Okay. Because I just simply cannot trust anyone. Now, if it was family per se, I would really have to think hard upon that, to tell you the truth. Okay. Because it was family, I would be more open to it. Okay. Because I trust that individual, whomever it may be, whether it's my father, my sister, my brother, my mother. Now, if they were telling me specifically, I would have to believe them, because if you can't trust your inner circle, then who can you trust besides God? Of course, you would always have to trust God. If anything, that is the only one being that you can trust, right? But since you don't know me for nothing, I don't blame you for not trusting in what I'm putting out there. But I have spent a significant amount of time talking about this, let alone producing this material, that why would I lie? I saw what I saw. Okay. I never been diagnosed with mental illness. I don't have any delusional, hallucinative thinking. I don't see things that shouldn't be there. Again, I am a professional registered nurse. I can't really reveal too much more than that. I am a veteran of the United States, and I've been within my career for an extensive period of time, in excess of over 20 years. Okay. Looking to retire pretty soon here. Within the next 7 to 10 years, we'll see how everything pans out. But I do this to provide information to you. And by doing so, it presents to you a reality, a truth of which still exists today, whether you don't want to believe it or not. Truth is truth, regardless of what our beliefs are. Okay. But this is the reason why I present the evidence. Now, when you view episode 23, it raises many questions. Okay. And then as a recap with episode number 66, it brings everything together. But does it confirm my findings? Today, what I'm presenting to you confirms my findings, because prior to this episode, I still have not yet found, well, except for today, but prior to this episode, I was very unsuccessful at finding other people's accounts similar to mine, where I had encountered a 13-foot giant in a Walmart. Now, within the same breath, within the same sentence, it is very difficult to complete a sentence where you have a 13-foot, then a Nephilim, and then a giant, and then a Walmart within the same sentence. Just all of these words seem so very odd to put within the same breath to explain something that had happened in testimony, as an encounter, as an experience, and to add in a sense of sincerity to as well. Okay. And when I say I could finally find some peace, when I found this information out today, I was essentially taken back. And I really didn't know what I was feeling. I was feeling a sense of not only release, but I would have to say it was a sense of peace. It was a sense of peace of which I have not had in a very long time, because the spirit of people not believing in me and just feeling like I was just left on the edge, just hanging like a cliffhanger, where this information was provided to me, but yet no conclusion, no answers, so that I could be able to put this to rest. But I could do so today, because what I have found out today is that, again, it is very rare to encounter a 13-foot, seriously, of anything, 13-foot giant, a Nephilim, an Anakim within a Walmart. And then for the only people to see this thing was me, another guy. Then the 60 people that were there, it was very crowded that day. In that particular area, I could only guesstimate that there's about 50, 60 people within that area. There was probably within the whole store more people within Walmart. But within that general area, 50, 60 people. But yet those people did not see this giant except for me and this guy. Okay. And now, of the evidence that was provided to me by a Facebook friend, And I really didn't know to the extent of what she was providing me as a link. I really didn't know. I didn't know it would be this significant because it would have to be something of which would have to parallel my own experiences. And it did. And I could truly say over and over again, because it provides me with a sense of relief that I can finally put this to rest. Seriously. And I would have to send a super shout out to one of my Facebook friends of whom had provided me this link, and her name is Angela. I'm going to say Angela G. Okay. Just for confidentiality, for privacy purposes, because I really do owe her a significant amount of whatever. And she says, don't worry about it. Just the ability to experience something this tremendous and then to have it confirmed by other people who have experienced this themselves, it's priceless. It is priceless. And this is exactly what it is. See, actually, I didn't really think of myself as being crazy, but it's as if you are alone within this world because no one else has experienced this except for you. For me, in this case, me and the guy, the fella who was with me. Now, the thing of the matter is that we didn't connect afterwards. It was as if I'm going to show you the clip. There's actually two clips. Okay. The first clip is going to be the commercial of Walmart. Okay. Which has to do with everything that we're talking about here. And then the next clip is going to be where David Heavener, I believe that's his name. He has a talk show, the David Heavener talk show, and for which he had on his show, L.A. Marzulli, and they were talking about the account. Now, this link was a video on YouTube of the David Heavener show, and God bless Angela G for providing that link to me. And I actually had put out a post earlier today on November 28th to timestamp everything. And it was actually a post. It was actually more of an open-ended question. And my post on Facebook was this quick question. Remember when I shared my testimony about that 13-foot giant at an Ohio Walmart back in 2016? Oh, it was 2016, not 17. So this was 6 years in the making. So it's 2016. Why did Walmart produce a commercial with giants in it in 2019? Coincidence? And then this is when I provided the video for the commercial that Walmart produced back in 2019. And long story short, it's essentially a video where Walmart was presenting to you, it must have been during probably the time when children were going back to school, I'm assuming, but it was in 2019, and they were presenting children with many of their products in Walmart. And then buzzwords were being portrayed out there. Mermaid, Spiral, Monster Jam. And this is all subliminal messages here. Okay. And these kids weren't normal kids. Now, as we know, within the occult, children are often used and abused. Children historically have been part of blood sacrifice. And this is not just recently. This is ancient. This is an ancient practice of which has been utilized by the occult since the very beginning. And we're talking past the Maya, past the many other different cultures, Greek, Roman, Hindu. Okay, this is a very ancient practice from amidst the occult. And so it's no wonder why children are used within this commercial. And then at the same time, in the backdrop, the music, it is, if you pay attention to the actual lyrics, the singer is portraying over and over again, singing over and over again, if we should meet at the top of the mountain. Now, at the top of the mountain is often a very common site for blood sacrifice. That's a given. Okay. And on top of a mountain, could this mountain still be the same mountain as portrayed by the very mountain peak, the top, right? Mount Hermon, the very site when the fallen angels had descended upon that mountaintop peak. And that was the very beginning when the fallen angels began their agenda to procreate with the women of men, to create the Nephilim giants. Okay? Now, this is a commercial. You have to look past the presentation, the distraction, and then to look further into the actual vernacular, the meaning. Now, all of that information is very pertinent to what we're talking about, but the reason why I am presenting this link to you, I'm going to be playing it in a few seconds here, is because these kids were portrayed as giants. They were giants. Can you say coincidence? I think not. There's a particular meaning as to why they have included within this very short commercial children, giants, mountaintop peaks, some meat at the very top, Monster Jam, Mermaid, the spiral. The spiral is symbolic of opening portals. Okay. I'm going to play this clip for you, and it's a very short clip. And just pay attention to what I have made mention. Okay, then you will see the connections. Enjoy.
Get everything you need to go back big at the low prices you love from Walmart.
Do you see exactly what I'm saying here? Okay, can you see the relationship? Now, this in itself is more evidence for you to put together episode number 23, episode 66, and episode 90. Okay, hopefully I can be able to put this to rest, but I feel that more information is going to be coming to help support everything put together. And this next clip that I'm going to be presenting to you, which was once more provided to me by Angela G., one of my Facebook friends, and super shout out to you. I got to tell you that this means so much to me. And thank you so much for bringing this information to me. Now, for the longest time, I've been trying to find other testimonies, encounters of which parallels the same experience that I had experienced back in 2016. At first, I thought it was 2017, but it is not 2017. It's 2016, just to correct myself. And so this next clip is going to be, I'm just going to give a little quick summary for this. And it's where David Heavener, he is a talk show host for his broadcast where he looks at targets the supernatural as far as it relates to biblical scripture and as far as it relates to the same type of topics and subject matters of which I talk about within my broadcast. When we're talking about biblical scripture, paganism within Christianity, the Nephilim, these aliens, AI, the subject matters just go on and on. And I've been following L.A. Marzulli, in which L.A. was actually his guest for this particular episode. I'm only going to be playing maybe 2 minutes of this broadcast. It's a rather long talk show in which they were relating this particular experience of this person who was in a Walmart and other experiences as it relates to AI and relationship. The same in particular when I produced episode number 23. So all of this mixes together. Okay. But in this particular broadcast, they were presenting to you in this portion of the episode on the David Hebner show of one person's account, their testimony, in which they had experienced not a 13-foot giant, but a 12-foot giant, close enough. And this was a woman, a 12-foot woman, proportioned similar to the giant that I experienced back in 2016 in the Willowick Walmart back in Ohio. It's unclear as to which Walmart this one was. I don't think they expressed that, but it was something of which was similar from what I had experienced. And so this person had seen this giant, and only the people within the line and the checkout counter had experienced this woman. And the thing about this was, which was very interesting, is that L.A. Marzulli made mention that people within the line just saw this 12-foot giant woman and wasn't taking pictures of it, Instagramming it, putting the recording that they would, could possibly or potentially do to record something of this of this extent. And that's the thing about it. I thought within my own self that when I saw this giant and this guy who saw this giant along with me, that there would be people taking pictures, doing selfies, Instagramming, social media, utilizing social media in order to capture this, because people would not believe what they were experiencing. So in the same light, me and this guy who experienced that 13-foot giant in 2016, we had this brain fog, similar in how L.A. Marzulli described it for these people, for this particular person who provided her testimony when she encountered this 12-foot giant Nephilim woman in a Walmart. Everyone within the line had this brain fog. And so this essentially confirms everything that I presented to you, because I don't know this particular woman. I didn't even know that L.A. Marzulli had interviewed this woman for his home broadcast that he had himself for his YouTube channel. Okay. Now, I've been spitting this out, trying to express the importance of this since the end of last year. This interview with L.A. Marzulli is just most recent. So by having this information out before this interview was actually put together by David Hebner, in which he has had L.A. Marzulli on his show as his guest, that absolutely takes out the possibility that I took this concept away from these guys. Okay. So that also provides some legitimacy and authenticity to my own research and findings. Okay. Enjoy this clip. It's going to confirm everything that I put together once you have watched episode 23, once you have watched episode 66, and this episode with episode 90. Enjoy.
So here's another story for you. This woman is shopping at Walmart. It's always at Walmart, right? Shopping at Walmart. And I call this UFO brain fog, because when we're around hybrids or demonic activity, we're not used to this, and it's hard to think clearly. And obviously the people in this aisle are no longer thinking clearly. So this woman's shopping in an aisle. There's a couple of other people with her in the aisle at Walmart, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All of a sudden, from the top of the aisle, walking towards her is a 12-foot woman, a woman who is 12 feet tall. She's dressed really well. It's not a guy in drag and on stilts. I mean, she's well proportioned, but she's 12 feet tall. How do we know this? Because the woman is about 5'6", and she came up to this giant's waist.
Did anybody else see her?
Yeah, everybody, and there were 2 or 3 other people in the aisle. Everyone stopped what they're doing and watched her come down the aisle. And when she turned and left, they all went back to shopping.
Wow. Well, I go
brain fog.
I go to Walmart all the time, and I think I see most of the Nephilim there. Both the customers and the people that work there.
Okay, so what do you say? Okay, case closed. Okay, I'm sure more information is going to be surfacing as more of this starts to become exposed. Because essentially what is happening here as we speak, these Nephilim giants, these 13, 12-foot Nephilim giants, they're actually hybrids. And before you know it, people are going to be so normalized by the supernatural of what is happening right before our eyes that people are not going to be pointing their fingers or talking about it, because all of this is going to be natural. It's going to be normal. It's going to be everyday to-day business. But once the switch is flipped up to where everything is activated, do not trust any of these giants. Do not trust any of these hybrids as they live among us. There's going to be a time when they're going to turn on you. Okay. They may seem friendly at first, but just imagine a 13-foot, 800-pound giant turns on you like a rabid dog. I wouldn't want to be there. Put on the armor of God and protect yourself. This is spiritual warfare, and there will be casualties. Do not be one of them. Do not be one of them. So I can finally put this to rest. Okay? Something which has always baffled my mind, for which this very thought, the encounter, had never left me. I think about this every day. Now I can put it to rest. Now I can lower down my shoulders and to stand straight up high and tall, and to take in a deep breath, a sigh of relief. And I can finally put this to rest, and I can finally be at peace. And I'll tell you what, I've been doing this for a reason, because it's been instilled within me by the Most High. And I thank you, dear Yahuwah, I thank you, dear Father, for not only providing me with the ability to do this for you. This is all for your glory. This is not for me. None of this is for me. This is for your glory. And I do this for you. I give my life to you, dear Father. And I thank you for entrusting in me to provide this information for the masses. And out of all sincerity, what I present to you is as authentic as how I can ever put it together in my own way, under the guidance of the Most High. And I thank you, dear listeners, for not only believing in me, but believing in the Most High Adonai, the Most High God, our dear Father, Yahuwah. And again, this is what it's all about. When you entrust in Him, when you are obedient to Him, and you open yourself to Him to provide you with a blessing, I'm telling you guys, you will be blessed indeed beyond anything you could ever imagine. So thank you so much, dear listeners, for tuning in. I am so grateful to you, and I am so honored to be able to provide this information to you as instilled within the Most High God. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to check out this ministry, R3TV Ministries, please visit our official website at r3tvministries.com. If you would like to check out my controversial articles for the blog for our network, please visit our official website for that at walkawayfromthenewage.com. And if you would like to check out this particular broadcast, this podcast, please visit our official website for this talk show at qmr20.com. Once more, that's qmr20.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Quintessential Mark Radio 2.0. God bless.
Yeshua, feel your blood dripping on me, now it flows through me. All roads lead back to AD 33. All these devil highways lead back to AD 33. Split the temples, back to AD 33. Take me back to AD 33. Yeah. Real Revolution Radio. Facing down the fallen angels, locking horns with this evil down through the ages, down through the ages. Thorns on the crown, barbs on his crown as we stand under. Jesus looking down, Yeshua gazing down, blood on his brow, pain in his frown, split the temples, died for our sins. Now take that man down, unnail him, lay his body down. We'll shudder the radio waves with revolution blades shine blue. Warn us Luciferians at perimeters, the very air is polluted. Devil's advocates suited and booted, pinstripe with lies, but we shine in the truth. We have our stripes, we're not fallen angels. The human condition, arsenal to their ammunition. It weakens our position, puts a taint on God's mission. So we gotta reconnect the sleeping minds to the ignition. Facing down the fallen angels, locking horns with this evil down through the ages, down through the ages. Thorns on the crown, barbs on his crown as we stand under. Jesus looking down, Yeshua gazing down, blood on his brow, pain in his frown, split the temples, died for our sins. Now take that man down, unnail him, lay his body down. Unplug you from the matrix, hook you up to source power, reinstate your purpose, no climbing Babel's tower. Gearing you up, anointed truth seekers, take you out the hidden fields, put you in the killing fields. New age Decepticons launching out all assaults on all fronts. God steeple shutters and war fog, demonic realms open up, now you open fire up. Defecting from the new age deception, God of the Most High. We walk with old body giants, mobilizing Christian armies, swords made of raw defiance. Old gods in our blood like Christ-barbed soldiers. Follow the steps of the giants, the Nephilim order. Our gospel in the battlefield, smash satanic shields. Code of honor in our blood, never see us yield. Conscious human beings doing the Almighty's work. Channel the forces of light back into this world. Facing down the fallen angels, locking horns with this evil down through the ages, down through the ages. Thorns on the crown, barbs on his crown as we stand under. Jesus looking down, Yeshua gazing down, blood on his brow, pain in his frown, split the temples, died for our sins. Now take that man down, unnail him, lay his body down. I will lay your body down, we will lay your body down. Real Revolution Radio. Yeah. Credit where credit's due. Shout out to our new age defectors, John Ramirez, Stephen Bankars, Doreen Virtue. May God be with you.